Welcome to Evolution on the Mic. I am your host, Ariana de la Cruz.
And I'm your co-host, Antoine Dove.
And we are back, y'all. Season 8, Faith in Others, episode 9. You went through it for a reason. In our last episode, y'all, we dove into the heart of what it means to have faith for someone else when they are struggling to believe for themselves, whether it was a friend, a spouse, or even a past version of yourself. We explored how to be a faithful support in someone else's valley season. Guys, I recommend that if you did not watch this episode, that you go back and watch it because it was so impactful, and I guarantee that it will change your life or your perspective, or something will shift in the inside of you with this episode. So please go back and watch it if you haven't already. But on today's episode, we're going to be diving into one of those deep soul level conversations. We're talking about how sometimes the very thing you went through wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to build someone else's faith. If you or someone you know has ever found yourself asking, why me, God? Or why did I have to go through that? This episode is for you. But before we get into all of that, Antoine, how are you? How you've been?
What's up,
How's
Adi?
everything?
Everything is great. I'm in a good space. This year has been actually just a very exciting year. Overall, having my
Yeah, this
daughter
year's
here.
almost over.
It is
Crazy,
almost
right?
over, right? And it's
Jesus.
it's been such a great uplifting year, I feel like, in many ways. New challenges, new people. I mean, my daughter being here, all that was brand new for me. And I didn't say this, but this week is actually my birthday week, which is also kind of wild, right? And
I
so
forgot. Oh my God, I
I'm
have so much going
turning
on.
I'm
Amazing.
turning the big 40. So as you know, when you turn these milestone ages, right? Like you start to reflect. And so I've been doing a lot of reflections this week, and
Wow.
I've just been in a place of gratitude because we're not guaranteed each day that we have, and what we do with it is totally up to us. And I'm
Yeah.
grateful that God has opened the doorways, placed people in my life who I can not only lean on and support, but also who I truly view as my family, my extended family.
Yeah.
And having those folks who I've been able to share memories with and do fun things with and push and challenge myself over these years has truly been an inspiration and just something that I am so grateful for, through and through. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
great. I'm in a place of gratitude this week, all the way. Like,
Awesome. That's great. And definitely happy 40th birthday. That's
thank you,
huge.
thank
And
you.
you
Yeah,
have made so many changes, and so many things have changed in your life for the positive, and you have
right,
grown as a person. So, definitely reflect on all those amazing things that have occurred, the challenges that you've taken on,
right.
and the connections that you've made, and all the great work that you've done, Antoine. So definitely has been amazing, and it's been amazing being here with you through it all, through
Yeah,
every change and gifts that God has put in your life. So that's
yeah.
amazing.
Appreciate that.
So I'm
Appreciate
glad
it.
you're doing good, and your daughter's good too.
She's fantastic. Yeah, she's good. And she's settling in now here. So I definitely feel like she's starting to feel like home. As
Yeah.
opposed to I'm just spending time with dad, and that means a
Yeah.
lot too. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and
means a
she's
lot.
made some friends.
Yeah, friends is in the picture, which it's always the
That's
play dates and
exciting.
stuff. That's new. That's new for me. So
The play dates. Oh my
yeah.
God, Antoine's having play dates.
Play
That is
dates. Me,
insane.
the
That's
play date dad.
amazing.
Can you
Well,
believe
that's
it?
good because as she's meeting people, then that allows you to also hold a space for you to meet, different people and
That is true.
connect. So that's amazing.
That is true. So what's up
Awesome.
with you? How's things? I know last we talked, you had just made a huge
I
decision for your
know.
business.
Oh my God, yes. And that was a bit of a challenge as I was expressing in that
Right.
episode, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it was a blessing in disguise for so many reasons for me. And it has helped me make so many beautiful decisions that I probably would have not made for myself had it not been because of this opportunity and this partnership. It just redirected a few things for me, a lot of them internally and also externally. I've actually moved since we've last
What?
spoken. Yeah, so I'm still in Costa Rica, y'all. Please, I'm not going nowhere. I absolutely love this country. But I'm more I moved like a couple hours away, and the weather is so much nicer here. It's a bit chillier, right? It's not like as hot and humid as it is on the beach side. So I'm excited. I love my new apartment. I love my view. I'm on the 22nd floor. I like to be on the
Wow.
high levels. And
Yep.
this apartment really does remind me of my apartment in Florida where I lived. Like the building, there's like a movie theater here. There's an amazing huge game room. Like
Nice.
there's, an office space that I can work out of downstairs. And, there's like a dog park, which Prince loves it. It's so interesting, right? That when he goes in there, like he knows that's his place to be at. And I never really took him to dog parks. But here they have one that is so nice the way they've built it. And yeah, so I mean, Prince is definitely happier here. I see his energy. He's more energetic, and Prince has been having some health issues. That's another story for another day. But found out that Prince has arthritis in his neck. He is 12 years old, and
Oh,
it was heartbreaking for me to watch because he lost feeling in his limbs. As of an effect of the nervous system in his neck, he started losing force in his limbs. But I took very good care of him, and now he's doing good. But he's on medication for arthritis. I'm like, oh my god, you got to be kidding me! My dog is getting older, and I'm seeing it. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
definitely. But here, like he just has so much energy. Like this place has given him energy. I think the climate shift, it's like good for him. Um, Not as humid and hot. I love it. My hair loves it. My skin loves it. And
Pura vida.
yeah, and it's just amazing. The building, the surroundings, the views. I'm really happy. And I'm closer to
Beautiful.
the airport because I'm going to be traveling a lot now. So I did want to be closer to the airport and not like a 2-3 hour drive. Now I'm like 20 minutes away from the airport.
Beautiful.
So yeah, so I mean, and that all came into play because of that one decision,
Mm,
right? That one decision that I was like skeptical and like, God, is that you? Do you really want me to do that? But so many beautiful things has transpired for me in that, you know what I mean? Mainly
I love
internally
that.
and like how I feel inside and how I feel about making decisions. You know what I mean? That I could make good decisions for myself and because I'm relying on God. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Relying on him and on my ego to make decisions for me. So overall, I'm doing good. I feel at peace. I feel blessed. I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm in a really good place. So
I see
that's
it.
where we're at.
I see it.
Yeah, and like we're gonna get into this episode, and I just wanna put it out there that everything that we're trying to do with the podcast, it's all about growth. It's about healing. It's about being transparent, being authentic, and being vulnerable. I think that those elements together can really make a show be relatable to the audience, right? When we are vulnerable, when we're transparent, when we are working to be in alignment with God's purpose in our lives, I think that we open up a space and open up a door for other people to see themselves in that
Hmm.
and want to make certain changes and want to be vulnerable within themselves. I want to be honest with themselves and take a hard look at themselves and say, what is it that I need to do? What is it that's happening in my life? Like, why are things so hard? And, does all of this have a purpose for me? Right. And we can ask those questions and be vulnerable, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Because when we're leading that, right? If we're leading that, you and I, Antoine, then I think other people can follow into that and be vulnerable with themselves and others and really find the seed of why things are happening in their lives. And for me, as I was like really planning on talking about what we're going to be talking about today, is like what has transpired in my life and how God has used that for
Hmm.
the good of not only myself, but really for the good of others, because when you come out of something, you allow other people to see, oh, okay, like they came out of that. I can too. They went through that and they were okay. So I know that I can too. Like, you know what I mean? Like we allow other people a space to have more faith in themselves and in God and in others when we have that faith in ourselves and in God and in others through our journey and our story. So as I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I just want to like set that tone, even though I know people know what we're talking about. But you know what I mean? In a space of being vulnerable, in a space of sharing our stories, in a space of like, why am I going through this? And does this have a reason? If anybody is questioning that, I want you to know that yes, everything that you're going through, there's a reason for it. Everything that has happened, God has allowed it. Even if you did something or allowed something to happen that you were conscious that wasn't good for you, but you did it anyway because maybe you didn't really know better, or you thought it was going to be a different outcome and things just went negative or left, right? This episode is for you so that you can know, like, even in those moments, even in those things that has transpired, they have a purpose. And that purpose, right? You, once you get through that and you find the lesson in that and you learn and you grow, will open up the space for other people that hears about that maybe they've been in that same situation or going through something similar in their lives in that moment. It gives them a sense of relief, like, okay, like, I know I'm going through this, but I'm not alone. Other people have gone through that, and I can make it out of this too, right? I know that there's a way for me to get out of this. And, for me, like, there's many situations that I can bring up. Like, I know I was telling Antoine, like, there's so many situations that I can bring up that I went through it and that I didn't know, like, okay, God, is this really you? Like, why are you going through, like, why are you having me go through this? Or why are you making me make this decision? I don't get it. Right. There's many, you know what I mean? From being a high school dropout, from making a huge transition from living with my mom and my family for all my life to leaving to Florida, you know what I mean? Not having and really anyone there, to moving to Costa Rica, to leaving my 9 to 5. There's so many, but I think there's one right now that is very relatable, to maybe the listeners and to my story, is when I left my 9 to 5, because that was something that wasn't just about money, even though money, is a main factor when you're leaving your 9 to 5 to pursue your own business, right? Money is the main thing. And I was making, 6 figures at that job. And, my paycheck will be steady because I was on salary. Whether I called out, whether I was sick, whether I was on vacation, I got paid the same, and I got bonuses. So to leave that, yes, that's one thing. But the main thing that was tough for me and where I went through it the most, it was the emotional attachment that I had to my boss, to my role in the job, to the future I seen myself in that job. That was for me the toughest thing to let go of. And I remember having severe panic attacks in the middle of the night where I will have to call 911 because I thought I was getting a heart attack. And it was not a heart attack when the ambulance came. They said, do you have stress? And I was like, yes, this and this and this and this and that. And they were like, well, you just need to like calm down, like take a deep breath, drink some water, and, watch something funny on TV because there's really nothing wrong. You're not having a heart attack. This is a panic attack. And I was like, oh, okay. And that happened to me like at least 3 to 4 times in the time span of when I gave notice to my boss to when I actually left. And it was hard for me, emotionally, because when you see yourself, your future in something, right? I, for myself, saw myself owning that company. I was there 8 years in that company, and I absolutely adored, loved, admired, and respected my boss. He helped me grow immensely. I just thought it was going to be me and him for years to come until, I don't know, until I can do something on the side or build something for myself, but still always have a hand in that business, right? And it didn't work out that way for a couple reasons. It just didn't happen that way, where maybe me owning that company wasn't something that was actually going to happen. I was told that it was, but it just started looking like it wasn't, and I started to feel like, okay, God, well, if this is not the future for me, if this is not something that I'm ever going to own or have partnership in, and I've been here 8 years dedicated to this job, then what else? And I started to feel like, okay, God, like I started a business. I didn't think that my business was going to go somewhere that fast because I was like starting in real estate. But, everything in your life has a divine purpose, right? And your story has a divine purpose. And I knew that me starting a business around the same time that things were happening where like maybe this wasn't going to be my future, I started to think, okay, like, God, you want me, you like, this is like the next step for me where I'm going to be leaving this job. And when I made the decision, my boss had me give him a 90-day notice. So it was 90 days, 3 months, right? Usually you give a 2-week notice, but my boss wanted me to give him 90 because, again, I was overseeing every department and there was just a lot on me and he needed help. And of course, I was there for him every step of the way. I gave him the 90 days. But for those 90 days, I went through it. And I went through it. And it was a lot for me, mentally and emotionally and psychologically, because I was stepping into new territory and going and getting my own and doing my own business. And like, God, like I was like, Ari, who said like you're gonna make this money? Like steady. Like, you know what I mean? When you're an entrepreneur, like there's no steady income. Right? It's like, are you gonna get the next client? Like, are you gonna make how much you made last month? Like, especially when you're new to it, like you don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't know what I was doing as a business owner, but I knew that God was in it. And I knew that it was my time. And that's all I knew. But I went through it. And I knew that there was going to be purpose in this, even though I didn't see it at that time. Right. I knew that this was eventually going to serve something bigger. Right. Not only for me, but for those that I get to impact and work with and help right through my services. Right. And I knew that I was always meant to be, a leader and a boss woman, so it was like, girl, this is in alignment, just do it. But still, again, like I said, the emotional attachment that I had to this job and my boss and everything that came with it, it was tough for me. And then of course the finances, like, am I going to make all this money? But I didn't allow that pain, right, to go to waste. I knew that that pain was going to be repurposed and that it was going to lead me into a bigger path for myself, making way more money and having way more impact and owning something, right? That I can say, okay, now this is mine. This is my baby. Like, this is not, nobody handed me this. I knew that it was going to make me feel so much better. And, I've been now an entrepreneur for what, over 2 years now. I started my LLC in May of 2023. My first client came in July of 2023. 2 months after I opened up my LLC. And I can honestly say that in 2 years, a little over 2 years, like my business has grown tremendously, right? My income has like quadrupled from what I was making in my 9 to 5. And it's only going up from there, you know what I mean, month by month. And I could have not put that in a better sequence, in a better way, on my own. I just couldn't. I knew that I was relying on God. I knew that I was following his voice. But the purpose that I find in everything that I went through and letting go of something that I was so attached to, something that I was like, God, like really, like, I'm leaving this, human being that helped me so much. Like, where's my help going to come from now? And God was like, your help is going to come from me, not your boss. He's a human and he's faulty, right? He's not perfect, but I'm perfect. And I'm going to lead you and I'm going to help you grow. And I'm going to give you all the skills, the tools, the connections, the opportunities, the money. He said, I'm going to do that for you. You can let that go now. He served his purpose in your life. And he did, because my boss at the time was really, a God-fearing man. And he would always talk to me about God and Jesus and, doing the right thing and being a good person and always being of service. Like, he was big on being of service and always having a win-win situation. He will always tell me, like, in business, you always want to have a win-win situation. And he always put God in his businesses. So I was like, he instilled a lot of faith in me too on that end with a business and how to structure a business and how to have operations and how to have your finances in order in a business. Because he will always tell me, make sure you have at least 6 months of operation costs in your savings. And not only did he tell me that, but he modeled that, and I will see the finances, and every month there would be more in the savings of the business. And I guess subconsciously I took all that in. So God was like, this man serves his purpose in your life. He instilled a lot of seeds, but now I'm going to be the one to flourish them and see them grow into this huge oak tree. Right. And I was like, okay. And God has done all of that for me. He's been my leader. He's been my provider. He's been the person that has attached me to connections and people, places, and things. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that I don't rely on man anymore. Like, of course, we need to rely on others, but my focus isn't just, this person's going to give me money and I got to rely on them and I got to do this because everything comes from them. I don't have that mindset no more. It's like, when God says, in God's time, he will bring me the person. He'll bring me the client. I will be fine. Every month I will be fine. And I just have that peace every month. and my connection with God has only soared. And through all of that, I've noticed how the impact that this has all had on me. Little did I know that I was really going to be having more of an impact on the people that I service. I had a client recently that I helped fund her, and she had a strange situation because um on her own, this person didn't qualify for funding. And I was like, okay, well, you can get a credit partner, and now you can get this person. And they got a credit partner, and I was able to work with the credit partner. A credit partner is basically, if you do not qualify for funding, if you don't meet all the qualifications of having a certain structured personal credit profile, you can get somebody and that has it, and they can fund your business for you. So we were able to find that person. We were able to fund that person, and my client was able to purchase land, right, with the funds that we helped her get in funding, because you can actually buy land. I didn't know this, but I'm learning a lot now. You can buy land with a credit card. So she, after the funding, she purchased land with the credit cards that I was able to help her obtain, and then she built a home on that land that now she uses as a business for Airbnb. And I found out just this week that she was on the news, and with the house that she built and all of that. And I'm just looking, and my client was so grateful for me, because like I said, in the beginning, she wasn't qualifying, and this was her dream. Like, she wanted to build, and she wants to be a builder and build properties and all these things. And without the funds, right, that dream can be realized. And I was able to help her get there through my resourcefulness, right? And now she's able to really realize her dream, and her dream has been realized. And she's so thankful for me for, not only because I got her the funds, but the way I went about it, right? The way I was like, don't worry, we're going to figure this out. Everything's going to be okay. Like, and we just kept figuring it out, maneuvering, and, just me being me naturally, you know what I mean? Bumped her up. Like, it made her excited, because it's like, she's working with someone that isn't like, well, sorry, you don't qualify, have a nice day. It's like, we're going to figure this out, and we're not stopping until we get you what you need. And I was able to do that for her. And now to see her home built, and her making money every month from Airbnb on it, and having bookings, and hearing these stories, and seeing her on the news, it's like, girl, like, to myself, like, you see what, like, what God put you on here, like, why he has you helping these people. Like, this is not just not only my dream being realized, right, by the, the money that it's making me, and the accolades that I'm getting, and the opportunities, but this is also about helping others realize their dreams, and helping them get in alignment with their past, and having them have everything that they've dreamed of for themselves. And I'm a part of that. And that feels so good. And there's so many other clients that have told me, Ariana, like, I purchased the land, or, this money that you're helping me get, I'm going to be able to finish up my project in this state and in that state. And I'm just like, wow, like, look at God. You know what I mean? Like, he's serviced a purpose that I went through it. I went through so much to get here, to get to the other side, from a 9 to 5 to being an entrepreneur. But there's so many nuggets of blessings for me and for others in this, and it's just a beautiful feeling to experience. And you know what I mean, I just want to say, like, if there's anybody out there that is feeling within themselves like, I'm going through it and I don't see the purpose in it, and I don't see what is the end of this, like, what's going to happen and how this is going to unfold for me, like, just keep going. Like, God knows what he's doing. God is amazing, and God is perfect, and he doesn't make any mistakes ever. Anything that he allows to happen, and anything that he allows you to go through, is because there's something there that is going to help you grow in that situation. And once you grow, and once you have it figured out, other people are going to look to you as inspiration. And then they're going to look to you like, maybe now you can help me, because you've done the work. Now you can help me, and now you're helping other people. So it's all going to be repurposed, right? Like, your purpose, your struggles, right, your sacrifices is now going to be repurposed for somebody else that's in a similar situation, or someone that needs something that now you figured out in that journey with God, that is like, now you can help them. And it's just this ongoing, serving a purpose in other people's lives. And I couldn't be more blessed to be in the situation, and just realizing that everything does happen for a reason. And God doesn't make mistakes, and nothing, even if it doesn't make sense.